Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me for today's video. I will be making September's Stationery Stockpile Challenge dashboard and answering a few questions that some of you were kind enough to ask. If you're new here, the Stationery Stockpile Challenge is a collaboration with Daksina where we have a theme each month and use whatever stickers, washi, or ephemera we have around to make something for our planners and journals. September's theme is food and drink, and I had a lot of fun with this one. For this dashboard, I ended up only using sheets from sticker books that I had purchased at Michael's at least 2 years ago. This is why this challenge is great. These stickers are a little bit too shiny and thick for me to enjoy using in my planner pages regularly, but this was a great opportunity. So some of the sticker books were Recollections brand. You'll see some Sweet Kawaii designs and Wonton in a Million. And the most stickers came from a sticker book that was called Cute Stuff. I had torn off the cover, so I don't remember the maker. If I do see it online, I will link it. But like I said, this is years old and I'm just really happy to be using them. I'm happy to report that I am seeing a dent in my sticker stockpile, and that's what this is about. Using what you have and also ending up with something super cute that you can flip through and enjoy. On screen, you'll see me doing my usual thing. I put down the central sticker first, I figure out the corners, and then I work from there. I'll reposition things and try and make it fit in a way that I like. And like I said, I had a lot of fun with this dashboard. I had asked on Instagram and a YouTube community post if anyone had any questions for me for a brief Q&A. Sometimes I'm not sure what to talk about while I'm making these dashboards, so it's always nice if you guys have questions. It's totally fine if you don't too. I mean, I'm pretty open and pretty consistent. There's not much new I think you'll learn today. But I did get some fun questions, so I will go ahead and answer those. I'll start with the planner-related questions first. Someone asked, when did you join the planner community? I did look up some specific dates, but I distinctly remember in late 2018, I was just learning about online reviews and how helpful they were. I know, a little late to the game. But I think I had Google searched best yearly planner and I was introduced to the world of Hobonichi. The more that I looked into Hobonichi, the more resources came up until I finally came across some YouTube videos. That was my first entry point to the planner community and I've never looked back. My first Instagram post was on February 7th, 2019, again, late to the game. And my first YouTube video was October 2nd, 2019. So from the date that I found the community to the date that I posted my first YouTube video, it was about 1 year exactly. And while I'm on the subject of the community, I just want to say that this has honestly been such a wonderful experience for me. It allows me to be creative and to share my hobby and interests with so many of you, and I have had so many wonderful and meaningful interactions. This is a lovely corner of the internet. I mean, I know it's not perfect, what is, but it's filled with really kind and thoughtful and creative people, and I just really appreciate all of you and am happy to have a chance to say that. The next question asked me, which bullet journal system was your favorite of all the ones you have used? And I thought that was going to be really hard. And don't get me wrong, I love all of the bullet journal systems that I've used. If you don't know, I started in pocket size in late 2019. That's what the first YouTube video was, a pocket size monthly setup. And I am currently in an A5 Oyster. Same guts of the system, obviously a very different size. And I would have to say that this A5 size bullet journal is my favorite. I think there is just so much real estate. I feel like there's so much space for me to basically do whatever I want. That's the difference to me between the larger size and the smaller size. Both are extremely functional for me, but I feel like I can be freer in the larger size just because I don't have to save the space or pages, and that's totally my own mental block. But it is something I definitely noticed once I moved to the A5, and I am just really, really loving it. I've also played around with a couple of different layouts, but I have been super consistent in here and have had no desire to change things up because it doesn't fit right or just to keep things interesting. It's the right meld of functionality and creativity for me. So, yep, current system for the win right now. I suspect that I'm the type of planner that whatever the current system I'm in will be my favorite. That's why it's my current system. But we will see. Which leads right into the next couple of questions, which were about my possible 2022 lineup, if I have any thoughts or any sneak peeks. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I am going to keep going with the bullet journal system. The main decision for me has been size. So I've been between a standard size, an A5 size, and bullet journaling in the Hobonichi weeks. And I did make my first purchases for 2022. If you follow Dale at Plet Loves Paper on Instagram, she has been using inserts from Pebble Stationery Co. this year. They are in the standard size and use Tomoe River paper, and I think those could be a really great fit for me. So I picked up the undated planner, which is in the style of the Hobonichi Weeks, except obviously it's larger and not dated. It also has a 5mm grid, as does the notebook that I picked up, which has 200 dated pages, I believe. They haven't arrived yet, and I'm really interested in seeing how I feel holding them in the hand. I wasn't sure at first about the larger grid size. Typically in the past, I have always preferred a smaller grid, but I think using the Leuchtturm, part of the reason that I feel like I have more space is because of the larger grid size. So I'm hoping that feeling translates to the standard size inserts. I'm also a little bit worried about how I will feel using a traveler's notebook style because I've used it and loved it in the past, but primarily I have been a bound notebook type of planner, and using this hardcover Leuchtturm has felt really, really good. So because it's a plain notebook and because it's an undated planner, I'm giving myself a little bit of flexibility here. If it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to force it. I will keep them and I know I will use them. I've also been loving my A5 so much, guys, that I'm becoming more hesitant about moving out of it. So we will see, but I did order those. I am really excited for them to arrive. I think that they could be great for me. The other really great option about the undated planner is I'm thinking I'll probably use that more for work-related things and as a future log. Because I work as a supply or substitute teacher who sometimes takes contracts, it might be helpful for me to date that insert with the school year. So starting in maybe August instead of starting in January, which is what I typically have had in any predated planners that I've gotten. So we will see. In terms of journaling, I am 90% sure I am going to get the Hobonichi cousin again. I obviously don't fill up the space. You've seen a lot of my blank pages or just white space on the pages that I do use. I'm okay with that. I like the larger size. I like that I can tip in larger ephemera if I have it. And the weeklies have been a lot of fun. Still haven't placed my Hobonichi order yet though, so that can change, but I will keep you guys updated. The last planner related question is one that I've never gotten before, and it was someone asking if I follow any international Instagram accounts. I'm assuming they mean international planner accounts, and the answer is yes, I do. I'm in Canada, and a lot of the people I follow are Canadian or live in the US. So, for the purposes of this question, I'm going to be speaking about a few accounts that are not in North America. And I usually don't like to name specific accounts because it's so hard. It's impossible to name all of the accounts that I love and find inspiration from. So you can always check on Instagram my list of the people I'm following. And I do try to keep that relatively curated because otherwise I get totally overwhelmed. And I do like to try and have meaningful interactions with the people that I follow and the people that follow me, of course. So I would definitely suggest looking there. But I also do want to name some people that I follow and whose content I really enjoy that do not live in North America. I will include all of the links to the accounts I mentioned in the description box below. And on my Instagram, the 600 or so people that I follow are all accounts that I truly enjoy. It's no surprise, I imagine, that I will start the list with Daksina, who lives in the UK. Her YouTube channel and Instagram posts and stories are all things that I really love. Her stylogies are the things that fluffy notebooks dream of being when they grow up, I think. There is just so much goodness in those pages, and I love her flip throughs and plan with me's. I also appreciate that she shares her opinion and views and voice on her Instagram stories. I know that is never an easy thing, and I like seeing that content. I like the discussion it can create, and I like being exposed to things that I might not otherwise have been exposed to, which is crucial for my growth. I've been following Lee at Lee's Journals, and she is in Amsterdam. She is currently using a Hobonichi Weeks in a way that appeals to my minimal, functional, and aesthetic preferences. She also does watercolor and sketching that is gorgeous. For the Hobonichi release, she sketched an image from each release in a calendar form, and it is so cool and beautiful. So if you haven't seen that, definitely take a look. It was so creative. Raya at raya.journals is in Australia, and I love seeing her systems and also hearing her share her process about why she's thinking of switching, how she's using different things, and how it's working for her. I find that we have pretty similar styles. She focuses on functionality. It's fairly minimal. It's all gorgeous. And again, I really like hearing her talk through her thoughts and her process because I tend to do the same thing. It's something that interests me. Inlay at Inlay's Inlet is in Norway, and they also like to chat about what they're using, what they're changing, how it's working. I guess I'm seeing a theme here, guys. They also post gorgeous pictures sometimes of the scenery around them or the things where they live. And when we're extra lucky, we get to see pictures of their dog, Sirius, which always makes me smile. Natasha at Button and Pen is in Belgium, and she shares pictures of her gorgeous journaling pages. I believe it's her journal. They are colorful, they have beautiful collage elements, and a good amount of writing, and I really like seeing how she uses her pages and fills them up. It's not the way that I tend to journal, and I love that. I really appreciate seeing people who have similar styles to me and people who have totally different ones. It's a spectrum, and I love all of it. Marcella at Marcella in Berlin is in Berlin, and on her feed you will see some gorgeous leather covers, a variety of systems and how she uses them, and sometimes some sneaks of her cat. I love the warmth in her feed and seeing beautiful stationery products. They're not always pages, and I love that too. You know, I love a good leather cover and all of the stationery accessories that I can see. I just eat that stuff up. And this last account that I'm going to mention is a little bit of a cheat because she is in Hawaii, but I did want to mention Amy. Her Instagram is at ayachan91.journal. And if you haven't seen, she has a first chapters project where she transcribes the first chapter of her favorite books, and she uses fountain pens and different inks, and her writing is beautiful and it's so creative and such a great idea. It's something that I definitely want to incorporate for myself once I get organized. I know that some people transcribe whole books, which is amazing, but the first chapters project seems so much more manageable to me. And I love the idea of having a variety of chapters together in my writing in different inks. It's just going to be so much fun. This was a really hard list to narrow down, but there you have some of the international Instagram planner-related accounts that I follow. The last two questions are not planner-related. The first one is, how do you spend your time outside of YouTube and Instagram? And guys, I'm a very introverted person and a true homebody, things that I think have gotten more pronounced during the pandemic when the options to do social gatherings have been very, very minimal. But if I'm not planning, my other big hobby is reading, so I really enjoy that. I like to walk. I like to get outside, whether it's just in the neighborhood around the same few blocks, or it's especially nice to drive to a park and be outside with some trees or water or open space. I like watching TV and movies and just hanging out with the people who are close to me. The last question is, what is a fun fact we don't know about you? And guys, I really struggled with this one. Something you don't know is that I took jazz dance classes and karate classes throughout school. I think I stopped in early high school, but did really enjoy both of those. And I'm Canadian, and my parents were both born in Canada. But on my dad's side, my grandpa is Chinese and his mother was from the UK. And my grandma's family is from Japan. And on my mom's side, my grandparents were both born in Spain in the Canary Islands. So I am a mix, and I'm often asked if I'm mixed and what my background is when I'm out and people can see my face. So is that a fun fact? I don't know, but it is something about me. I had a lot of fun with this Q&A. Thank you for those of you who asked questions. Thank you for those of you who are watching. I like these Stationery Stockpile Challenge videos. It feels like I'm speaking to a smaller group of you, and it's nice to feel like there's that connection. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.